Good afternoon. Oh my goodness. Everybody's had lunch, they've been to church, and now it's supposed to be nap time, right? Well, this is much better than a nap, I can promise you. So, good afternoon. Good afternoon. We're excited about today and about the announcement today. It's going to be big for Newport. It's going to be big for the region, actually, if you want to know the truth. If you bring 200 jobs in to Newport, statistically speaking, there's a good percentage of them that'll work in our surrounding communities and come in for that. But we're pretty excited about this for a different reason. One of the things we try to do is diversify our economy. We've got some pretty strong economic pillars in Newport and Jackson County. Agriculture has traditionally been one of our strongest pillars, and it continues to be a great economic pillar in our community. Manufacturing is one of our strongest. If you look at some of the manufacturing companies, Shearers and Arkansas Steel, Grangus, Southwest Steel Processing, and a lot of others, those are really strong, stable companies that contribute a lot to our economy. We've added some that some communities don't want, but we have embraced. So we have medical marijuana cultivation. We have cryptocurrency, which are also pillars of our economy. The reason you want to diversify your economy is that recession tends to hit different sectors at different times. And so if your economy is diverse, it's much less likely that a recession is going to wipe you off the map. And so this today, what we're doing today, represents yet another economic development pillar that we're going to have in our community. And to start the talk about what's going to happen and what's going on, one of the partners without whom we could not have made this day possible, I'd like to introduce Clint O'Neill. Clint is the Executive Director of the Arkansas Economic Development Commission. He's been great for Arkansas. He was here, he went somewhere else, and we let him steal all of the knowledge he could from them, and then he came back, and he's using it all to our benefit, and he's doing a fantastic job, and we're just so honored that he is also a friend of Newport. So give a great welcome to Clint O'Neill.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Well, thank you, John. John and I have known each other, worked together for a long time. I was here, like John said, and then I went to Kyle's home state of Missouri and did a little economic development work here. But it's been great to be back for the last 5.5 years here in Arkansas, and such an honor to represent the Arkansas Economic Development Commission, the Sanders administration, the state of Arkansas, just to come and congratulate the community of Newport, to share the podium with the founders of DiveSmart, let them get into the details of the announcement. But just so proud to have you here. You know what a great fit for you to select a community like Newport. So I want to recognize a couple of my colleagues that are here. Tyler Hale from our communications team over there taking pictures. Hope you're getting some good ones, Tyler. And Newport's very own Amy Williams. Anybody in the room know Amy? They know you, they just don't claim you. Is that? Also have my family here with me today. It's a Sunday afternoon, so we said we're going to take a Sunday afternoon drive to Newport. I told the family that a few days ago, and I said, next Sunday we're going to Newport. And my son Caleb, there in the Chiefs shirt, says, "We're going to New York?" And I said, "Come on, son, I wouldn't do that to you. We're going to," I'll maybe adjust my comments a little bit because I know Dan's from the New York area here, but I said, we're going to a place where people fear God. They know how to work hard. That leaders lead with integrity, that leaders make decisions based on what's best for the community. That's not something I would do for you, son. Today we're going to Newport, Arkansas, and it's a great day in Newport. So again, just congratulations to the community. It's such a neat community event. I love that you have the car here, that you have Kyle here. When it comes to competitive economic development projects, in the words of another NASCAR driver, John, if you ain't first, you're last. And this project, Newport, Arkansas, first place. Congratulations to you and the mayor and everybody here in the community. Thanks again to Dan and Chris, and thank you all.
So next, I would like to introduce Newport's mayor. I think most everybody here knows Derek Ratliff. He's grown up here, lived here. He's also our first African-American mayor in the history of Newport. We're proud to have him in office and working hard, and he's been a great partner, not just in this project, but in all the projects we're working on. So, Mayor Ratliff.
Thanks everyone for being here. Like Clint said, I want to thank DiveSmart for choosing Newport. This is great for Newport. I'm very proud. So this is my first year as mayor. This gentleman here has been great. He's done great work for Newport, and I'm glad DiveSmart chose Newport for our community. We're going to do great things. We're going to do great things around here in Newport. Chadwell, thank you so much. Thank you for all you do for Newport. I'm here, whatever you need. Thank you so much, sir. Thank y'all.
So before I bring DiveSmart up, I want to say a few comments. First, it takes a team to make something like this happen. And if you want to talk about who gets the credit, first and foremost, the credit goes to the citizens of Newport, Arkansas. And if you hadn't had the foresight 22 years ago to pass a half-cent sales tax for economic development, none of this would be happening. None of this would be happening. The other successes we've had have been fantastic, and this is just another one. If you start counting the jobs we've added, you start counting the changes. I mean, if you drove into downtown Newport today, does it look different than it did 22 years ago? You better believe it does. And that's all because of you. You invested in yourself, you made a difference, and that's what is fantastic. AEDC, we couldn't have done it without them. We can offer some local incentives, but they always step up. They help us with state incentives that make a difference. Anytime I call, they pick up the phone. I can walk in the office and they walk out and say, "Hey, John, how's it going?" So they're always accessible. They're very willing to work with us. In fact, Amy fusses at me for not using her enough. She says I need to work her harder. So we really appreciate them. I can't neglect White River Planning and Development District, who writes grants. I will tell you the only reason we are sitting in this business or in this building is that they wrote the grant that got this building. And so I appreciate what they do for us. They have been instrumental in this project as well. And then, I know I'll forget somebody. If I forget you, I really do appreciate you. It's not that it is that I'm brain dead. These guys actually drugged me to the Texas Motor Speedway yesterday for a NASCAR race. I'm just now beginning to hear again. So, but sitting in the back is Patrick Brosh. Raise your hand, Patrick. All right, Patrick grew up in Newport. His family had a jewelry store here in Newport, did a lot of work. Patrick moved off to fame and fortune elsewhere, but his heart stayed here in Newport. And he is a really weird story. He introduced me to a guy in New York who talks like the Godfather. You know, we're going to make things happen. And I thought, this is a strange dude. And he brought me a project, and I said, that's not going to work. He brought me another project. I said, that's not going to work. He brought me another one. I said, that's not going to work. Finally, he brought me DiveSmart. And I said, hey, this one might work. And so we began to work on it. We began to talk, and they came, looked at buildings. We looked at a number of buildings in the community. They're actually going to locate in the building where our offices are now. They're going to pay us rent on that building and be a rent-paying partner in this community, as well as creating the jobs that they've talked about creating. So they're going to bring, initially, the first year, about 100 jobs to downtown Newport. This does a number of things for us. Number one, it brings jobs. That's our number one thing. When you can go and you can get a job and you can make $50,000 a year salary and commission on average, that's a big deal in Newport, Arkansas. And to put on top of that, we got good manufacturing jobs, but there's some people to whom manufacturing is not what they want to do. We got great jobs in corrections, but to some folks, that's not what they want to do. But to have 100 to 200 office jobs where you're working inside an office every day is a big deal. And then I fell in love with them partly because they're also a second chance employer. They believe in taking people who are coming out of substance abuse recovery, people who are transitioning from incarceration, people who didn't get a chance to finish their education. They work to get those folks employed and employed at a living wage. And that's a big deal as well. So with this facility here, they're actually going to train people in this facility. We can take somebody who's in substance abuse recovery, and in the last 2 months of their recovery, we can bring them here on Saturdays and train them, and they graduate from their program and walk right into a job next door, making almost $50,000 a year with commission. That is a life changer for our community and for our area. It is big. Some of our partners back there, the Arkansas Center for Data Science, have pitched in, and they've put in some apprenticeships that's going to also help this process so that the training and some of the work is paid for. And so, I mean, really honestly, this has been a partnership. And it's a partnership that is paying huge dividends. And you need to give yourself a round of applause because you made it happen. This is you that did this. I think that's one reason these guys fell in love with Newport. So if you look at the two of them, I want you to think of, well, I won't call their names, the two guys that used to sit in their basement on TV, you know, and talk to each other, because these guys started their business as high school buddies, kind of in a garage. And they have built it from there, and they've made it work. And so they are the real entrepreneurial spirit of America. And they have come to love Newport. It's a little different than New Jersey, where they're from, just a little bit. But they have come to love it. And Newport, I think, is going to embrace and love them. So I'm going to first turn it over to Dan Rod, who is the founder of DiveSmart.
Hello, Newport. Well, before I get started, I have to just tell you guys a quick story. So I had the judge and John and the luxury to get to drive them around in Dallas. And I was, I'm not going to lie, I was a little nervous. He's smiling over there laughing. I felt like I was being judged the whole time. But I was a good driver no matter what they tell you, all right? So we finally get home after a long ride last night, and I woke up this morning to find out that someone else got pulled over. But all right, listen, thank you. I really, honestly, I was sitting here listening to everybody speak today, and I feel so emotionally connected to everything that is happening here. I started to almost even shed a tear before I even walked up here. The energy that you guys have and what you guys have created, it really is something else. And we come from a family where the two of us grown through some hard times in our own lives together, and we've helped each other out our whole lives. And we didn't really have much. You know, Chris, you know, lost his father a long time ago, and I dealt with issues in my family as well. And you know, we've only had each other from that point on. We met in high school, and we just kind of grew together. And then from there, it was just really like, what do? We separated for a little bit. He ended up working at dealerships and call centers, and I went out and got this thing called a degree, and I don't know, I didn't do anything with it, apparently, but now I ended up opening up a warranty and insurance company with Chris, and we started in our basement, like John said, and we started with just the two of us and my family, my mother and my sister and my brother, who's also here somewhere hiding, I'm not sure. And he's watching the water bottles, okay. And you know, we grew from there, and within 3 years we went from 4 people to 220 employees. And we just kept on taking everything and saying, how do we make it better? How do we make it better? And it's just always been our mentality. Every dollar that we've made, we've actually just reinvested back in. You know, the one thing is you guys can come back home to where we live. You know, we are very humble in that way. Like, we've given back to every one of our employees in so many different ways. You know, we don't get a lot of opportunities where our state and our town gives, like what you guys have, and this is one of the reasons why we feel we're so blessed to actually meet people like you. The ability to be able to allow us to create jobs and change people's lives mean a lot to us, because you know, we felt that we got that opportunity, you know, when we were down and we were able to build ourselves, and we want to be able to give that back, and that means a lot to us. So without further ado, I really appreciate everything you guys have done and this warm welcome you guys have given us. And I want to introduce Chris, our president and future of Arkansas.
Future Newport resident. Thank you. He's not that bad of a driver. I just wanted to cover his back there. So first and foremost, obviously, thank you for having us, not just today, but for the future. I want to thank John very, very much, more than you know, more than words can explain, for what you did to help make all of this possible. Obviously, I want to thank the mayor. It was nice meeting you the first time, and now we're on, 4, 5, 6, and I know I'm going to see you a lot more, but I appreciate everything that you did to make this possible, and all the other state and local officials that were able to put this together. So the world has been a very crazy place over the last few years, and the pandemic affected every business differently, and when we made the decision that we wanted to regrow our business, we wanted to go to a business-friendly state, and Arkansas checked every single box. When we made that decision that we wanted to grow the business again, we wanted to see how can we impact the community. When I go home on a Friday and I want to go have a drink with a friend, I go and see a distillery. You have one right here. I want to go to a restaurant. I want to have something to eat. You have more than one right here, right? And it reminds me so much of back home, and we have so much more in common than you possibly imagine. Now, the one thing they do say is New Jersey has great pizza. But Fatheads, if you ever had that, I mean, they knock it out of the park. So it's not really as good as they tell you it is, okay? There's some in the water. If you've ever been in the Hudson River, it's not that great. But what we're looking to do is add 200 jobs in the next few years, 100 in the first 12 months, office jobs, good paying office jobs, that when you go home and you cash your paycheck, you can pay for your family. You could pay your rent. You could pay your electric bill. You could pay your cable, have some money to save. You can grow a future with your family, and you can grow that future right here in Arkansas and right here in Newport. That's important. That's important to me. That's important to you, right? When we take time and we look at job creation, you always hear politicians and you hear businesses and you hear all these people, and they always talk about job creation. Well, guess what, folks? This is what it looks like. This here today is what job creation looks like. We have a tent outside. We're taking applications. We're hiring for many positions. And excuse my voice, I've been cheering for Kyle for too long. I don't have much left, right? But we're hiring not only for sales, customer service, data processing, administration, fulfillment, software development, and marketing, just to name a few. So we're looking to put 100 good paying jobs here in Newport in a wide range of diversity of positions. You're not a salesperson? No problem. You're not a customer service person? No problem. You're not a software developer? Me neither. But I guarantee you we got a seat for you if you want to work in an office, right? And that's why we're so incredibly excited to be coming to Newport. And we cannot wait to see the future. And I'll tell you this right now, and I never write a check I can't cash, but the proudest moment for me in our business is going to be when I see 100 people or 200 people coming out of work on Friday with their paycheck, and they go to the local distillery, or they go to a local restaurant, they go down to the park, they go to the festival, and they put that money right back in the community here at Newport, and I couldn't be prouder to be here today, and I am so excited for the future here. And the one last thing I want to tell you is, it's time to go to work. Thank you so much for having us.
Now you can see a little bit about why we're so excited to have them here. It's going to be great. I'm going to wrap up by recognizing one person who, are you awake, Judge? Yes. Okay. We were blessed with the opportunity yesterday to join them at the Texas Motor Speedway and watch Kyle race. And it was an experience of a lifetime. I mean, I'm from me to Alton when they're changing tires. I'm sure they were thinking, get out of my way. You're too close. But anyway, it was just an awesome experience. They gave it to us. And then the judge and I had vehicles down there. Dean loaned me one, big enough to bring everybody back. We got them all back here about 12:30 last night. And so the judge was a warrior on your behalf at the Texas Motor Speedway. It was fun, but it was hot. It was a heat index of 105, and we were down there on the asphalt. But it was a great, and it's just, if you go out and look at the car, look on the trunk of the car. It's our logo, and it says Newport, Arkansas. Every time that helicopter took a shot from above of the race on USA Network yesterday for 3 hours, every time that car went around, what did people see? Newport, Arkansas. And you know what? Want to know how much we paid for that? Not a dime. They donated that as a good faith measure to show how excited they are to be in Newport, Arkansas. And we appreciate Kyle working with them to let that happen and coming today to sign autographs. But I think that shows the kind of partnership that this is going to be, and it's going to be for the future. They just fit here. They just fit here. And so we're so excited to have them. So I hope that before everything's over, you will take an opportunity to meet some of them, talk to some of them. If you don't need a job, if you need a job and your employer's around, let me know. I'll distract them while you go fill an application out. Okay? But if you don't need a job, think of somebody you know who does. We're going to keep the applications in our office. Now, they may not hire in the next month or two because we have a grant pending that we should hear about any day that's going to renovate the building. And that'll take 4 or 5 months to get the building renovated, and then we'll begin to process. But during that 4 or 5 months, we are going to be training people. So at some point, they'll start hiring in that next 4 or 5 months. We'll train people so when that building's ready, they'll start to work right away. I really appreciate all of you coming out. This is a big day for Newport. It's an exciting day for Newport. It's an exciting day for DiveSmart. It's an exciting day for Arkansas. I hope you can use the video from some of that because they need to be a commercial for the whole state, don't they? Yeah, so it's great. So thank you for coming, and go back out, get Kyle's autograph, and enjoy.